First of all, let me apologize for the bad connections that we have, but still I will quickly just give you my remarks, and then it will be sent to you through a video. I'm very sorry for that. Honorable delegates, envoys, representative, activists, artists, fellow fighters for equality, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me to speak at this high-level dialogue. I am honored to join you here on this International Day for the elimination of violence against women. Many people in my country and across the continent refer to me as Mama. I have had a privilege of not only marrying, but standing side by side with a great African revolutionary in our long struggle for liberation. During those many years, my late husband, Dr. Nyandeng de Mabior, and I acquired many sons and daughters along the way. Today, I am serving as the first female vice president of the Republic of South Sudan and the chair of the Gender and Youth Cluster. It has been a long and challenging journey. I must admit, these days it can be difficult for me to see where the mother ends and the vice president begin. But if you will allow me, I would like to address you today as both. In South Sudan, we have a lot of well-written materials that focuses on promoting gender equality and involving the youth in nation building. This material has been written to ensure that women and youth have the space, protection, and agency to occupy positions that they have been denied for too long. And why not? In a society like ours that has been burdened by decades of violence, it is the women and the youth who bear the burden, the brunt of a conflict. But unfortunately, a majority of these literatures has grown dusty on our bookshelves. It is important to ensure that these texts are not only well written, but they must be grounded in strategies for sustainable implementation. For example, our Ministry of Gender, Child and Social Welfare has worked hard to make issues of gender-based violence and gender inequality more edible in our national conversation. We have an anti-gender-based violence bill that has been drafted and tabled at the judiciary. The ministry has brought to my desk action plan to end child marriages and other harmful practices against women and children. We have worked to enact the Maputo Protocol, which addresses women's rights from the family level to the national level. I have personally spoken with the IGP to ensure that more women are included in the police forces, and phone lines are set up to respond to cases of violence against women and children. And I am happy to report that Ministry of Justice, with the support of UNDP and UNEPA, is currently in the process of establishing a GBV court. This court will focus on prosecuting cases of gender-based violence across the country. So, although our progress is slow, there are steps being taken at the highest levels to address this crisis. But still, these issues continue to decay the social fabric of our country. It is my sincere hope that through intervention such as this dialogue, we can begin to shift our collective approach to these issues and become more vigilant in our implementation mechanism. In this regard, the youth have a major role to play. Who amongst us can transform these well-written words into action, if not our youth? It should be our role as elders, as your parents and grandparents, to give you guidance and context. But instead, in many cases, we have left the youth redundant as we cling to position that should be theirs. When I meet with young people, I tell them this: patriotism is not something that you can buy in the market. Patriotism is something that is still in you by services, opportunities, and wisdom provided by your elders or by your leaders. But if we fail to provide these things to our young people, how can we expect them to carry the heavy burden of the future on their shoulders? Before I conclude, there is a story about my late husband that I share quite regularly because I feel it is still relevant to us today. In early 2005, before the signing of the landmark Comprehensive Peace Agreement, Dr. John was speaking about the marginalization of our people and why our liberation struggle has become such a vital part of our national identity. He said it was because we were fighting for our freedom and our rights. Our right to self-determination, our right to be recognized as people, and our basic human rights. But within our already marginalized society, he noted that women are the marginalized of the marginalized. And if I were to add unto his statement, I would say that young women must be marginalized 3 times over, because even among the youth, young women may still find themselves on the outside. So to the AU, a special envoy on youth, to your office, and to all those who have made this dialogue possible, I applaud you for continuing to demonstrate your commitment to these issues. And I commit to continue to be an ally in the global fight for equality, inclusion, and for the elimination of violence against women. Thank you very much, and may God bless you all. Thank you.